They say the NBA is a business. But when a team trades away a championship piece, it never feels that way. Andrew Wiggins, gone. Dennis Schroeder, gone. A 2025 first-round pick, gone. And in return, the Warriors get a 35-year-old Jimmy Butler, a player who at his peak was one of the best two-way wings in basketball. But that peak, it's starting to feel like a memory. And that brings us to the real question. Did Golden State just sacrifice its future for a name, rather than a solution? Look, desperation makes people do wild things, and right now, the Warriors are desperate. Steph Curry is 36, Draymond Green is 34. The dynasty that ruled the 2010s is on borrowed time, and they know it. They didn't just trade Jimmy Butler, they traded for a chance, a shot in the dark that maybe, just maybe, he can reignite something. But here's the problem. Butler isn't exactly an easy fit. He's never been a seamless plug-and-play guy. Every stop, Chicago, Minnesota, Philly, Miami, ended in conflict. His style? Ball dominant, deliberate, half-court heavy. The Warriors? Motion offense, quick trigger shooting, free-flowing movement. It's like trying to make water mix with oil. And for Miami, this is not a loss. It's an exit strategy. They get younger. They get more flexible. They move on from a player who has, let's be honest, been more of a headache than a cornerstone recently. So now the stakes are set. Did Golden State make a bold championship move? Or did they just sign up for an expensive, short-lived experiment? What the Warriors gave up. For a team that prides itself on smart, calculated moves, this one feels reckless. The Warriors didn't just trade for Jimmy Butler. They cashed in on their second best player, a first-round pick, and a point guard with untapped potential, all for a 35-year-old star with baggage. Let's start with Andrew Wiggins, a champion, a defensive anchor, a two-way wing that every contender dreams of having, and a huge piece when it came to hoisting the Larry O'Brien Trophy in 22. He was Golden State's best perimeter defender, and on the right night, their second most reliable scorer. Sure, he wasn't a superstar, but he was exactly what the Warriors needed. A player who could fill gaps without demanding the ball, and they just let him go. Then there's Dennis Schroeder, a wild card, yes, but one with flashes of brilliance. He wasn't playing his best ball, but we've seen what he's capable of. Shifty playmaking, defensive energy, and a knack for stepping up in the big moments. Could he have been an X-factor in the playoffs? Now we'll never know. And finally, the 2025 first-round pick. On paper, it's just a pick. But if this Jimmy Butler experiment implodes, if injuries pile up, if chemistry issues resurface, if this trade sends Golden State further into mediocrity, that pick becomes a golden ticket for a franchise in desperate need of fresh legs. So here's the real question. Did the Warriors just overpay for a ticking time bomb? Because for a guy with locker room issues everywhere he's been, that's exactly what this move might turn out to be. The new look Warriors. Jimmy Butler in a Warriors jersey. It looks good on paper. A defensive-minded, playoff-tested star joining a team that's built its legacy on winning. But basketball isn't played on paper. It's played on rhythm, chemistry, and fit. And that's where things start to get messy. Let's talk about the system. Golden State thrives on spacing, ball movement, and quick trigger shooting. Jimmy Butler, deliberate, ISO heavy, a mid-range bruiser. He's never been a volume three-point shooter, which means defenses will sag off him, clogging the Warriors' free-flowing offense. Then there's the defense. At his best, Butler is a menace. Tough, gritty, willing to take on the best assignment every night. But he's also 35. A defense at that level takes a toll. The Warriors already have an aging core. Steph at 36, Draymond at 34. The idea of adding Butler makes sense if he's still elite. But if he slows down, this move starts looking like an old team getting older. But, of course, there's playoff Jimmy. The guy who elevates when it matters. The guy who dragged Miami to the finals twice. The guy who wants the ball when the game is on the line. And in a postseason setting, that could be exactly what the Warriors need. A guy who takes pressure off Steph, who gets to the free throw line when the offense stalls, who thrives in half-court battles. But let's be real, there are concerns. Durability. Butler's missed chunks of time every season. Attitude. We've seen him clash with coaches, teammates, entire front offices. What happens when he doesn't like his role? And the biggest concern of all, is the team too old to win? The league is shifting. Young, athletic teams like OKC and Minnesota are rising. Boston is younger, deeper, fresher. Did the Warriors just make one final championship push? Or did they just accelerate their decline? The Miami Heat's perspective. For Miami, this wasn't just a trade, it was an escape. They didn't just move Jimmy Butler, they moved the baggage that came with him, the contract, the injuries, the unpredictability, and in return, they got exactly what they needed: a younger, more flexible roster with a two-way wing that fits like a glove. Andrew Wiggins is not Jimmy Butler, but he doesn't have to be. He's low maintenance, defensively reliable, and still in his prime at 29. He can defend multiple positions, knock down open threes, and operate without demanding the offense revolve around him. That's a perfect complement to Tyler Hero, who now gets more opportunities to be the Heat's primary scoring option. And then there's the financial side. Miami just dodged a disaster. Butler's 2-year, $121 million extension with Golden State, that's money Miami didn't have to spend. They keep their cap sheet cleaner, giving them the flexibility to make bigger moves in the near future. But let's call it what it is. This is a pivot. The Heat might not say it out loud, but this move signals a potential shift towards a rebuild. They're not getting a superstar in return. They're getting younger and resetting their timeline. Maybe it's a soft rebuild. Maybe it's just a bridge move. Either way, Miami just turned the page on the Jimmy Butler era. And the best part, they didn't even have to force it. Butler wanted out, Golden State wanted him, and Miami, they just made the smartest move they could by letting someone else take the risk. Miami Heat. They played this perfectly. They got younger, freed up financial flexibility, and moved on from an aging star before his value cratered. Butler wanted out, and instead of holding on to a depreciating asset, they flipped him for a reliable two-way player in Wiggins while keeping their books clean. This wasn't a panic move. It was calculated. Miami remains competitive now while keeping the door open for bigger moves later. Andrew Wiggins. In Golden State, he was a role player, stuck in a system that didn't highlight his strengths. Now, he walks into a bigger role, in a system that values tough, defensive-minded wings. In Miami, he gets to be a featured piece again. More touches, more impact, and a fresh start in a culture that rewards his strengths. Tyler Hero. No more playing in Butler's shadow. No more questioning his role in Miami's offense. This is Hero's moment. The Heat have quietly been transitioning him into a primary scoring role, and this trade accelerates that process. With Butler gone, Hero will take on a larger share of the offense, and this is his chance to prove he can lead a team, not just by being a spark plug. Golden State Warriors. This could be a franchise-altering mistake. They just sacrificed their second best player, a first-round pick, and a potential X-factor in Dennis Schroeder for a 35-year-old with durability concerns. If Butler doesn't click, if injuries pile up, or if his intensity wears thin in Golden State's system, this move could haunt them for years. Steve Kerr. He's been through roster changes before, but this is different. The Warriors system is built on unselfish movement and perimeter shooting. Now, Kerr has to integrate a ball-dominant, ISO-heavy veteran without breaking everything that makes Golden State work. It's a puzzle, and if Kerr can't solve it, the Warriors may have thrown away their last title window. Jimmy Butler. Be careful what you wish for. Butler wanted out of Miami, and he got his wish. But in Golden State, he's not the guy. He's not bigger than Steph, not bigger than Draymond, not the loudest voice in the locker room. In Miami, he was the heart of the team. Now, he's just another piece in the machine. If he doesn't buy in, this could turn into a short, expensive, and ugly ending to his career. So, what is this really? A championship push or just another aging star experiment? The Warriors are betting big on Butler's fire, on Kerr's ability to make it work, on the hope that this experiment can still outlast youth. But let's be real, dynasties don't last forever, and if this move backfires, this won't just be the end of an era. It'll be the moment Golden State officially lost its grip on the league. What do you think? Brilliant move or disaster waiting to happen? Drop your take in the comments. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. This trade deadline has shaken up the NBA, and it feels like this season's just getting started.